So, welcome everybody to this live workshop. And this is hosted by the Sentinel. And I am in the beautiful Maloca building. This building is really, truly special. I've had the pleasure of doing some workshops here before and participating in other workshops and hosting them. So the energy in here is just incredible. I almost kind of want to take you guys on a little spin here because it is just the room. If you haven't been in here, it's just beautiful. Like all these beautiful windows. We're at the Sentinel here in the Maloca building. And even the ceiling, like it is just beautiful. And yeah, the energy here is divine. Beautiful artwork on the walls that's really meaningful. And yeah, it's a very special place. If you ever get the opportunity to do a workshop here in person, I would highly encourage you to do that because I feel like every one that I've ever attended, and even the ones that I've facilitated, they just turn into this magical and enchanted space of healing and community. And so thank you to the Sentinel for hosting this series. And my name is Ava Clark. I'm a registered clinical counselor and a certified hypnotherapist. I have a private practice in Castlegar, BC, and at Through the Woods Wellness. And I see clients in person and online there. And, I see couples, I see children, I see adults. I truly love my work because I really get to help people and help them grow and discover parts of themselves. Yeah, so this work is an honor for me, and I'm really happy to share it with you today. And I'm going to share, so the hypnotherapy exercise we're going to go through will be more experiential. And then at the end, I have some cognitive behavioral therapy skills to share with you that I think really tie in well to the actual guided hypnotherapy. So, this is specifically designed for managing stress and anxiety, and I feel like we could all use this right now. So, anyhow, we're a small group today, but that's okay. And perhaps, oops, I'm just noticing there is one more person in the waiting room. I'm going to have to change my settings, I believe. Hello, Anne. Sorry, I didn't realize you were in the waiting room. Missed my little intro spiel, but let me just see if I can change it to allowing people in. Maybe I'll have to, yeah, so see if I could allow people in. One second, sorry about that. Okay, I'll just have to keep an eye. And I was just reminding everybody the policy at the Sentinel is just to turn the camera on if you can. Just helps us all to be present together. And yeah, that would be great if you wouldn't mind putting your camera on. Hello. So sorry, I just realized you were in the waiting room and I was just introducing myself. My name is Ava Clark. I'm a registered clinical counselor and hypnotherapist, and I'm here today to offer you guys some hypnotherapy and little CBT skills for stress and anxiety. And again, thank you to the Sentinel for hosting this workshop. This is the most beautiful place, the Maloca building, and I love the energy in here. It's wonderful. So before we begin, I'm just going to spend a few minutes talking about what hypnotherapy is and what you can expect. I'm not sure if any of you have done hypnotherapy before. No. So this is going to be a treat. I want to kind of rule out some of the misconceptions. A lot of people, kind of think of hypnosis based on what they've seen on TV or stage performances, that kind of thing, movies. And hypnosis is not mind control or anything like that. You can't be made to do anything against your beliefs or values. In fact, the whole process, you remain aware and in control. And it's actually, hypnosis is a natural state that we weave in and out of on a daily basis. And it's similar kind of to becoming deeply engrossed in a book or, when you drive somewhere and then you kind of go, oh, how did I get here? It's like realizing you arrived there. It's sort of being absorbed in that state of attention. And basically, hypnosis is really, again, a natural state of awareness. Hi, Mimi. Nice to see you here. Just giving an intro on what hypnosis is. And we ask that people have their cameras on. So basically, it's a natural state, similar to like right before you're falling asleep. And, you're basically kind of in that really relaxed state. And it's a way to access your subconscious mind. It becomes, quieter, and you can access your inner resources. So basically, hypnosis is the opposite of anxiety. And today I'm going to teach you some new skills that you can apply to a number of situations in your life. And you may notice I'm using a bit of a script here. That is pretty common with hypnotherapy. It just helps me to kind of keep the pace and flow going. And obviously, just to have some notes to do through this workshop. But this helps me to guide you through the session in a seamless way. And so you might notice different sensations during hypnosis. Some people feel very relaxed. Others may feel heavy, light, or floating. Some may experience vivid imagery, and other people just simply enjoy a sense of calm. And so there's no right or wrong way to experience this. And today's session is focused on helping you to reduce stress and anxiety and just to strengthen your ability to regulate your emotions and building those internal skills. And you can use it whenever you need it. And so once you've learned this process today, you'll actually be able to do self-hypnosis. And all hypnosis actually is self-hypnosis because you are the one engaging in it. And you're here today because you've asked me, to help guide you through something to allow you to manage stress and anxiety. So all the suggestions I'm going to make today are really based on your desires to manage stress and anxiety and be more calm. And so all you have to do, there's nothing really you have to do. It's just about getting relaxed and following my voice. And I believe at the end of the session, you'll have experienced something wonderful. And so the more you allow yourself to just become curious about relaxation, the more your mind and body can learn new ways of responding to stress. Okay. So do we have any questions before we begin? I just want to make sure everybody's comfortable and that everybody has an understanding of the process of hypnotherapy and what we're doing today. Okay. Great. Okay. So simply make yourself comfortable. If you are comfortable there where you are, that's great. But if you need to move to a laying down position, that's fine. Or if you need to go grab a pillow or a blanket, whatever would make you most comfortable at this very moment. Knowing that at any time through this process, you can adjust yourself for comfort. You can just, get cozy. And, there's no right or wrong in this process. So just, find a comfortable place to get relaxed and knowing that this time is for you. So I want everybody just to start by taking a deep breath into your belly. In and out. And we're just going to enter this place of relaxation where we can just be receptive to, to learning, to relaxation. And you can gently close your eyes and taking in another slow, deep breath. And exhale. Good. And again, breathing in calm. And breathing out any tension. Good. And one more time. Breathing in relaxation. And breathing out anything you no longer need. And just simply now bringing awareness to your body and noticing the places where your body makes contact with the chair or the surface beneath you. And allow yourself to be supported. Good. And as you continue breathing comfortably, starting to notice the muscles in the top of your head beginning to soften and relax. And allowing the muscles in your forehead, the cheeks, and the jaw, allow them to soften and relax. If you need, you can even take a yawn, stretch out your jaw, allowing the whole face to soften, even the muscles around your eyes. And just letting go completely. Good. And as your body begins to relax physically, it's perfectly okay for your mind to drift and wander, thinking pleasant thoughts, peaceful memories, or simply listening to the sound of my voice. And just allow that relaxation to flow down through your neck and your shoulders. And just noticing any tension you've been carrying from the day and letting any stress leave your body. You don't need to hold on to it right now. And allow it to soften and melt away. Just feeling that relaxation moving down through your upper arms and your shoulders. All the way down your arms through your hands and fingertips. And allowing the stress to release. Feeling limp and loose like a big pile of rubber bands. And imagine any stress or tension simply flowing out of your fingertips and flowing out of the body and disappearing. And now bringing your awareness to your chest and allowing the muscles between each breath to soften and relax. The muscles in your stomach and in your back. And just noticing with each breath, your body becomes more comfortable. And as your body relaxes, your mind naturally follows. The mind and the body can work together. And the calmer the body becomes, the calmer the mind becomes as well. And just noticing now moving down your hips and your pelvis and allowing those muscles to soften. And many people carry this tension in their hips and their upper legs. If you notice any tension there, just simply allow it to flow downward, down the thighs, through your knees, down through your calves, into your ankles and your feet, and out through your toes. And at this point, you appear to be very relaxed. Just notice how relaxed your body has become. And again, if you need to swallow or adjust for comfort, that's perfectly fine. From the top of your head to the tips of your toes, you've allowed yourself to become deeply relaxed. And your mind has the capacity to relax as well. And this is an important skill, a skill you can use whenever life feels overwhelming, and a skill that allows you to pause, breathe, and return to a sense of calm. This feeling of relaxation is very much hypnosis. You may notice that you could open your eyes if you wanted to, yet relaxation feels so comfortable you simply choose to continue relaxing. And just take a moment now to enjoy this feeling of peace and comfort. As your entire body becomes limp and loose and comfortable, recognize that this time is meaningful. It's meaningful because you are learning a new skill, a skill that allows you to influence your emotional state through relaxation, and it allows you to take greater control over stress, anxiety, and tension. And now that your body has relaxed, your mind can relax even more deeply now. In a moment, I will count from 10 to 1. And with each number, imagine yourself walking down a beautiful staircase leading to a place of peace and calm. So 10, taking the first step down. And 9, going deeper now. And 8, more relaxed. And 7, allowing yourself to let go. 6, feeling safe. And 5, halfway down to 4, calm and comfortable. Down to 3, drifting deeper. To 2, nearly there, and 1. And stepping into a peaceful sanctuary. Perhaps it's a beach, or a forest, or a garden, or another place where you feel completely calm and relaxed. And take a moment now to experience this place, the smells, sights, the colors, the sounds. Good. And as you rest comfortably in this peaceful place, notice that anxiety is not who you are. Anxiety is simply an experience, a temporary state, a signal. And like all experiences, it can change. Your mind has spent a great deal of time trying to protect you, and sometimes it works too hard. Sometimes it overestimates danger. Sometimes it underestimates your ability to cope. Yet there is a wiser part of you that already knows something important. You have successfully handled challenges before. You have survived difficult moments, You have adapted, learned, and grown. And that same strength remains within you now. So imagine all the stress and anxiety appearing as clouds in the sky. And you can notice that the sky itself remains unchanged. The sky is calm awareness. And the clouds, they come and they go, just as thoughts come and go, and emotions come and go, sensations come and go. And you remain steady beneath it all. Every day, your mind is learning to distinguish between possibility and probability, between concern and catastrophe, between preparation and worry. And you're becoming more skilled at responding rather than reacting, more capable of pausing, breathing, and choosing. Now, in this state of comfort and relaxation, you may simply listen to my words, or your mind may drift or wander, and either way is perfectly fine. And either way allows you to continue experiencing the opposite of anxiety. I want you to bring your awareness now to your thumb and your forefinger, and notice them resting comfortably. And when you're ready, gently press your thumb and forefinger together, just enough to create that physical connection. It's like you're making an okay sign. Good. And as you hold these fingers together, you allow yourself to notice the calm feeling you created. And notice where you feel it in your body. Even noticing how your breathing has changed. Notice how your muscles feel. And now you can release your fingers, allowing yourself to continue relaxing. And once again, we'll press the thumb and forefinger together. And as you do, allow this feeling of calm, comfort, and safety grow even stronger. Every breath deepening it, and every heartbeat reinforcing it. Good. And you can allow your fingers to relax. And so what we've accomplished here is a simple gesture that is now a reminder, a cue. We call this an anchor. It's a pathway back to this feeling. So whenever you choose to press your thumb and forefinger together while taking a slow breath, your mind and body can begin to remember the state of calm. Because your nervous system is learning the pathway. And each time you practice, that pathway becomes stronger. And just notice how calm feels. Notice how capable you feel. Notice how even your relaxation can deepen further. Each time you use this anchor, you strengthen your ability to return to balance, confidence, and emotional control. And as you rest comfortably, imagine looking at yourself now from a distance. Perhaps it's as though you're observing yourself from the outside, looking on yourself with kindness and curiosity, and noticing how calm you appear, and how relaxed your breathing is, and the comfort in your face and your body, the confidence within you. And as you observe yourself in this way, you recognize something important. The calm is real, the confidence is real, and the ability to relax already exists within you. And allow yourself to step back into that calm version of yourself and experience those feelings from the inside, allowing the comfort, safety, and serenity to become even more familiar. So imagine yourself now, sometime in the future, encountering a situation that would normally create stress. Notice yourself becoming aware of the tension and then pausing and breathing slowly and pressing your thumb and finger together and allowing calm to return. So noticing yourself responding with greater confidence, greater balance, and greater self-trust, and see yourself handling the situation effectively. Notice how capable you are becoming. Good. And whenever you need, you can return to these skills in any times of stress, knowing you have that ability within inside of you to access the calm and comfort whenever you need. And in a moment, we will come back to the room. I'm going to count from 1 to 5 to bring you back up. And you'll return refreshed and calm and alert. So 1, just bringing awareness back to your body, surface beneath you. 2, energy return to your body, feeling a little bit more alert. And 3, taking a deep breath in. 4, you can even stretch gently. And 5, opening your eyes, feeling awake and alert, refreshed and ready for the rest of your day. It might take some of you a moment to come back, and that's completely normal. I hope you all enjoyed the hypnotherapy part of this webinar and are feeling a little more relaxed and maybe prepared to manage stress and anxiety and having some tools. I also just wanted to talk about how the skills in hypnosis relate to what we call the gold standard, the tried and true modality for anxiety, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. So I'll just give you a moment to kind of wake up. You can move your body if you need to, get a drink of water. And then we'll go into the second half. So basically, some of these skills within the hypnotherapy are very similar to cognitive behavioral therapy in the sense that we need to allow our body to be relaxed to access our mind. If we aren't relaxed enough, it's really hard to think. It's really hard to challenge our thinking. And cognitive behavioral therapy is based on the idea that our thoughts and our emotions and our behaviors are interconnected. And so this is most commonly called the CBT triangle. And so it's thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, and they're all connected. So if we change one thing, we change another. How we think affects how we feel. And how we feel influences what we do. And what we do reinforces what we think. So, if you, for instance, receive an email from your boss and you think, oh, I'm in trouble, this is not good, you might feel anxiety. You might avoid opening the email. But, obviously the avoidance, it temporarily reduces the anxiety, but it reinforces that belief that the situation is dangerous. And so what CBT does, it helps us interrupt this cycle. And so you can think of anxiety like the body's alarm system, basically. if you had a broken alarm system, the smoke alarm might go off when you're burning toast, as opposed to when a fire is actually there. So the job is to protect us from danger. And anxiety can be helpful. It can be useful in the right amount. You know, just before preparing for this webinar, if I didn't have any anxiety, I might not have the motivation, to kind of do well and to, show up and, do my best. So we do sometimes need a little bit of anxiety, but when anxiety is, out of proportion, that's when our nervous system is kind of constantly heightened and, anxiety's job is to protect us from danger, real danger, but sometimes it misinterprets that, right? And so, we find ourselves kind of making predictions or, kind of asking questions like, well, what if something goes wrong? Or what if I fail? What if people judge me? So anxiety tends to overestimate the threat and it underestimates the coping ability, right? So, the other piece of it is having evidence. And so it may ignore the evidence that things might be okay. So learning cognitive behavioral therapy kind of helps create a more balanced perspective, right? It's not all going to be amazing and it's not all going to be bad. I mean, I think if nobody showed up today, maybe that would have been a bit of a catastrophe for me, but anyhow, I'm sure we would have figured that out too. Um, but just, some examples, just kind of understanding, that we need to find more balance and helpful thinking. And so that's what we're going to talk about a little bit right now. So when anxiety shows up, we got to ask ourselves, am I falling into what we call a thinking trap? And so thinking traps are these patterns of thoughts that are very common. Everybody does them. But for instance, catastrophizing, right? Like it's going to be terrible. Oh my goodness. Like Zoom link's not going to work and everybody's going to hate this webinar, so that's catastrophizing. The other piece of it is mind reading. You know, if I was sitting here thinking, oh, they're all looking at me really funny, they must be thinking she's very weird. Like, and that's, very unhelpful mind reading, right? Fortune telling. So, kind of imagining what you can foresee in the future. Like, I know what's going to happen. I have a feeling, and we really don't have any evidence for that black and white thinking. And so, this kind of idea of or all or nothing, people call it, either way. So it's sort of that really kind of extreme type of thinking. So those are some examples of thinking traps. And once we can identify them, once we can kind of pinpoint, hey, I think I know what I'm doing and that's not helpful, then we can try to find a more helpful thought. And so you kind of have to ask these questions to yourself, like, what is the evidence to support this thought, right? What is the actual evidence for this? A lot of times there isn't any. Maybe, you can find evidence to not support it. And so that can help as well. The other one that I like is, what would I say to a friend? I feel like we're always so much nicer to our friends than we are ourselves. So, you can imagine, you wouldn't say to your friend, oh, yeah, you're probably going to totally suck today at that webinar. You're probably going to fail. You would say, oh, you're going to do amazing. It's going to be great. You're going to, so can be really helpful to get an outside perspective. And, we're often kinder to our friends, maybe more realistic with other people too. And so, for instance, instead of saying, oh, this is going to be a disaster, you can say, well, this might be difficult, but I've handled difficult things before. And so it's not about all positive thinking, right? It's about finding a balanced way of thinking. So instead of, oh my goodness, I'm not going to be able to handle this, I'm not going to be able to cope, you can say, I might not like this situation, but I can manage it. That kind of feeling, it It might be a little anxiety provoking, but I can handle it. I can cope. And, thinking of the worst thing that could ever happen, you could say, well, if that did happen, how would I cope? And so just kind of finding more balance, finding more resilience, and noticing the thoughts that are leading to the anxious feelings, noticing the thoughts that are creating the stress. Um, Again, our thoughts are connected to how we feel, right? And so if we change our thoughts, we're going to feel better. And then also, in turn, that allows us to do things differently. Or if we decide we want to take a leap and do something differently, it might also change how we feel. And it may also change how we think about something. If we try something new, we go, oh, that wasn't so bad. That wasn't at all what I thought it would be like. You can surprise yourself in that way, taking a risk, right? But that requires you to, again, challenge that part of yourself that might tend towards all that anxiety and unhelpful thinking. Um, so, like I was mentioning, the CBT is sort of the thinking piece. And once you can learn to recognize and challenge those negative, anxious thoughts, you find more helpful ones. Um, so the relaxation piece that we just participated in, that is important also because, as I mentioned, your brain can get hijacked if you're not calm. And so if you are in a really stressful situation, you can think of it as there's a hand model from the Whole Brain Child book. It's a great book. And it kind of explains the parts of your brain. And so, for instance, this is the lower part is your animal brain, sort of the fight, flight, freeze center. Inside is sort of your emotion center, the amygdala. And on top is your prefrontal cortex that allows you to think, plan, and make decisions. And so this is what allows you to access your helpful thoughts. However, when we're faced with a threat and we feel anxiety and we feel threatened, and this is activated, the fight, flight, freeze is activated, we lose the ability to access our prefrontal cortex. We flip our lid, it's called. And so the amygdala is just going off, the emotion centers are going off, and we are just left with the animal instincts, the fight, flight, freeze, and the emotions. So to get them talking again, to get the brain working as a whole, we need to do relaxation, we need to do some breathing, and then we can calm our nervous system and we can access our prefrontal cortex to be able to challenge our thinking. So that's an important piece because if you've ever tried to think clearly in a stressful situation, it's quite hard. You're panicking and you're upset, or even if you're really angry about something, it's really, really hard to see things straight. It's really hard to get there. So I want to teach you a really brief relaxation exercise as well that can really help very quickly. You can use, like we talked about, the cue from today. You can use the anchor, touch your thumb and index finger together and, return to the state of calm. You can use that. And also you can use what is called tense and release. And so sometimes we just need a way to move stress through the body. We need to kind of put our attention somewhere. And so you can do this in a sequence with each body part, or you can do this sort of the quick and easy way. And so basically it's about tensing and releasing each muscle. So let's even do just with our arms and hands today, and we can tense and release these muscles and just noticing how your body responds to feeling the difference between tension and relaxation. You can even do it with your facial muscles, with your shoulders, tensing and release. You can try it with your legs. When we do it with the face, it actually looks pretty funny, right? Like we kind of like make a pony face. And then we can relax, opening the jaw. Yeah. Okay. So this is also something you can do before bedtime. It's a really quick way to get your body to say, oh, right, I was tense. And now I know what the difference is between tension and relaxation. Okay. So take another deep breath in and just notice, is there any tension you're holding in your body? Maybe you need to kind of like let it go. Maybe you need to loosen it. Noticing how that relaxation feels. And again, anxiety can affect the mind and the body. And so when we calm the body, we calm the mind. When we challenge anxious thoughts, we also influence our emotions. You know, how much better does it feel to think, yes, I'm going to be fine, I'm going to succeed, rather than I'm totally going to fail, this is going to be horrible, right? There's a big difference in the way that feels. And again, it doesn't have to be all or nothing, or sort of like it's going to be great or it's going to be awesome or awful. It can just be like, yeah, it'll probably be fine. You know, I'll cope. That kind of balance thinking. Yeah. So just a few words. We're kind of winding down now, but to remind yourself that anxiety is not dangerous, it is uncomfortable, right? And that thoughts are not facts and feelings are not permanent. So you can learn to respond rather than react. And every time you practice that awareness, that balanced thinking, the relaxation, you strengthen your ability to manage anxiety. Okay. I think we're kind of winding down, and I really hope you enjoyed this webinar today and learned some ways to manage stress and anxiety. I'd like to thank the Sentinel again for creating this free online series for people to enjoy and benefit. I'm so grateful to be a part of it. We're going to do some Q&A in a minute here, but just before we go, I just wanted to let you know that I am available to accept new clients, and I invite you to reach out to me if you're interested in counseling services. I'm also trained in other modalities such as EMDR and DBT and art therapy. I'm Gottman couples therapy. And I was also inspired by this workshop. And so I decided that I'm going to host a 4-part series of hypnotherapy and visualization, guided relaxation for stress, pain relief, and healing the nervous system in the fall. So that'll be September 15th to October 6th from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock p.m. online. And I can't wait to share that. And yeah, if you want to register, just send me an email at avaclark@gmail.com, or you can go to my website. And thank you guys for your time today. And I hope you were able to benefit from the session. And I'll open it up to any questions or any thoughts that you might have. You can raise your hand in the chat or unmute yourself. Or I just see, I think you can unmute yourself. Yeah, any thoughts, any questions? How was that today? Yeah.
So
Hi, Deborah.
hi. First of all, it was pretty funny because I was getting uh, prepared for the seminar, and a friend who had sent me the link to it, who has been to Sentinel,
Mhm.
and I said, "Wow, I'm pretty anxious about even doing this." And she's like, "Wow, you got something to work with," which makes me laugh when you say how a friend responds as opposed to how you respond to yourself. The other thing that was sort of amusing to me during this whole thing, first of all, I found the relaxation really helpful, but I recently had a knee replacement. So as you started going down the stairs, all I'm thinking about is, oh God, this hurts.
Mm.
Then I'm like, well, I'm going to get down here anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and I did, and it was lovely and it was nice. So I appreciate that. And then as I'm relaxing, I was visited by my cat, who is really attracted to relaxation. So she's in and she started tapping me, and I'm like, no, not now. And so
Oh,
It
too
was all
funny.
good. I have a long history with anxiety and the idea that it's not going to kill you.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
if you can be curious as opposed to panicked,
Hmm.
um, which is a skill in itself to
Oh, yeah,
learn. I like
definitely.
the idea of having, a tool to remind myself quickly to
Hmm.
maybe pause and just take a look. So thank
Hmm.
you.
You're welcome. That's so great to hear. And just on the note of your visualization of yourself going down the stairs and thinking, ow, 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 that's actually, there's a whole kind of technique in hypnosis that you can use. It's kind of related to like sports psychology, where you imagine the way you want it to be. You imagine like how it would feel with no pain, that kind of thing. So if you're ever up for exploring that, that's also something that could be used, let's say, for a future event where, it's sort of similar to what we did today, where you imagine yourself in a stressful event, but imagine yourself being calm. So that's kind of a whole other technique. But yeah, thank you so much for participating and for your feedback. I appreciate it, Barbara.
Thanks.
Yeah. Mhm. Great. Yeah. Anybody else? I know, like I said, we have a little less people than were signed up today, but that's okay. I always think whoever's meant to be here is meant to be here. So, yeah. Any other thoughts? Anne, did you want to speak or was it?
Yeah, yeah. I was just going to say I found with your guidance, it was really easy to get into the relaxation. And I
Great.
actually was pretty stressed this morning because,
Mm.
yeah, there was a few things, but yeah, our water went completely crazy. We have no cold water. It's all hot. And
Oh,
anyway, so a bit of a problem. But yeah, I was surprised how much time went by when I
mm.
kind of just looked up. Yeah, I was totally into it, and you did a great job with that. Thank you. It
Oh,
was,
great.
yeah, and I guess I don't want to say that it was easy, but I definitely felt like I could do this again myself.
Hmm.
And yeah, like yeah, maybe go a little bit deeper with some accompaniment. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was very good. And yeah, again, I appreciate you being there. I have been to the Sentinel, so
Mm.
having that room there was a really nice backdrop. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
some
beautiful
lovely
here.
experiences there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was amazing. Thank you very much, Ava.
Oh, thank you so much, Anne. I really appreciate your feedback, and I'm glad it helped with your stressful morning.
I'm sure
Yeah.
I'll have a few more of them, but that was a nice pause.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Great. Thank you. Hmm.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was wonderful. I came in relaxed and now I am even more relaxed.
You're blissed out now.
Yeah. And
Oh.
yeah, I was curious about the hypnotherapy and I see a lot of parallels, and perhaps it's just a different name, but I've done NLP.
Mhm.
neuro-
It's the same. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that was a good connection for me, and for those of you that um, or that have for like if this is your first time trying hypnotherapy, it's a very powerful tool. I have worked through a lot of childhood trauma with that tool, and yeah, it was fantastic. So thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you, Lynn. I really appreciate it. That's great to hear. Awesome. Okay. And Mimi, thank you for joining. I don't know if you have any other thoughts or questions. But if not, again, you can find, let me see if I can put it in the chat. I'm going to put in the chat, I'll put my website on if you'd like. Mm, if I can, hang on. Why is it not working? Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, there's my website, and I'll put my email address as well if anybody wants to reach out or has any other thoughts or questions. And again, I'm very, very grateful to the Sentinel for hosting this series and for having me today. And I wish you guys a lovely, beautiful, sunny day, and hope to maybe encounter some of you in the future and work together. And I'm glad it was helpful today.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay, take care, guys.
Good night.
Bye.